All right, let's dive into something that sounds simple but is anything but. We're going to explore two phrases that are almost identical: time in a moment versus a moment in time. Sounds like just flipping a couple words, right? But as we're about to see, they represent two completely different ways of understanding reality itself.
I mean, on the surface, it's just a simple switch. But one of these phrases, well, it describes the convenient way we organize our lives, our history, our calendars, all of it. The other one, well, the other might just be how the universe actually works.
So, let's start with the idea we all know and pretty much live by, the comfortable, familiar one. This idea of time as a steady, reliable container for everything that happens. You know, when we say a moment in time, what we're really picturing is this vast, unchanging stage. And events, a birthday, a battle, a coffee break, they're just actors that walk on, do their thing, and then walk off. Time itself is just the backdrop, completely indifferent to all the drama. It's like a coordinate system, a way to put an X on the map to say when something happened. And look, this framework is absolutely essential for how we've built our world. I mean, think about it. History depends on a linear timeline. The legal system has to establish when an event occurred. Science records data over time. This view is incredibly useful, but it also kind of treats time as something we don't really need to question.
But then modern physics came along and started pulling at the threads of that whole backdrop. And what they found, well, it wasn't a solid stage at all. It was something way, way stranger.
And this was the revolutionary question that changed everything. For centuries, we just assumed time was like this big universal clock, ticking at the same rate for everyone everywhere. But what if that clock was just a myth? What if time itself could actually bend and stretch and slow down? And this is where our everyday intuition just completely shatters. Einstein's theory showed us that, nope, time is not constant. The faster you move, the slower time passes for you compared to someone standing still. The stronger the gravity, the more time literally stretches. And nothing, not even information, can travel faster than light.
So the crucial point here is this: that steady, indifferent backdrop we'll picture, it's an illusion. Time isn't some substance that just flows on its own. It's relational. It emerges from the interactions between things, from motion, from gravity, from the exchange of information.
So this leads us to a completely new and, frankly, mind-bending paradigm. If time isn't the container, then what is it? Let's explore the idea that time doesn't contain moments, but instead it awakens within them. This is the whole concept of time in a moment. It suggests that time only becomes real, only becomes meaningful at the point of an encounter, where there's change or observation or some kind of interaction. In a place where no information can travel, where nothing can connect, time is basically on pause. It's a potential, but it's not a reality yet. And this quote just brilliantly illustrates that idea. It's not that light is just racing through some pre-existing river of time. It's that the very arrival of light, of causality, of information, is what makes time unfold. Where cause and effect can happen, that's where time becomes meaningful. Okay, so this might all be sounding like really abstract physics, right? But here's where it gets deeply personal. This new way of thinking actually aligns much more closely with how we experience our own lives. Just think about your own life for a second. Do you experience it as a smooth, even flow of minutes and days? Or do you experience it more like a series of intense, defining moments separated by long stretches of, well, just stuff happening? We live in compression. Certain moments contain far more time than others. A single moment, getting a life-changing diagnosis, experiencing a terrible betrayal, or having a profound realization, that doesn't just exist as one point on a timeline. In that one instant, your entire past, present, and future all just collapse inward. Decades of history and years of future consequences are all present, right there in that one single moment. And you know what? Our bodies get this instinctively. Your body doesn't respond to a calendar. That spike of cortisol from a sudden shock happens in an instant, not over a week. Trauma can imprint itself in a moment. And healing often begins not with the mere passage of time, but with a single moment of understanding, a sudden shift in perception. And this has a profound ethical side to it. If a moment is just a passing point on a timeline, it's pretty easy to ignore it or put it off. But if time itself is carried within the moment,
then being truly present, that becomes a responsibility. To miss a moment isn't just a scheduling error, it's a failure to recognize the reality that's unfolding right in front of you.
So, bringing these two ideas together isn't just some academic exercise. Understanding the difference really changes how we confront reality itself. So let's just compare them directly. On one side, you have time as a backdrop. It's a steady container, a linear journey where schedules and duration are what really matter. On the other side, you have time emerging from moments. It's a relational event, an experience of intense compression, where presence and responsibility are what truly count. Ultimately, the difference is this. A moment in time is a useful tool. It helps us locate events, organize the past, plan the future. But time in a moment? That's a confrontation. It forces us to stop and ask what time and reality actually is. It moves us from just keeping records to seeking real understanding. Let that sink in for a second. We tend to think of ourselves as being dragged along by this relentless river of time. But what if that's completely backwards? What if time isn't actually in charge? Maybe time doesn't really exist out there for us to find. Maybe it only reveals its true nature in the focused intensity of a moment of observation, of interaction, of choice, of being truly and completely present. And that leaves us with a final, powerful question. If time isn't just passively flowing past us, but is instead something that awakens when we pay attention, when we interact, when we are truly present, then the choice of where we place our focus becomes maybe the most important choice of all. So, what moments will you choose to awaken?